Hey, this is Kathy. How are you doing? This is my first presentation in a series of Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. This is just how to get started and how to know if you're ready to get started on a Total Money Makeover. Just the basics, essentially. So, yeah, let's get started. Oh, by the way, um, hopefully my future videos that have slides will also include my face, but for some reason, my camera isn't working on my computer. I think it's because I got my screen replaced not too long ago, and maybe the camera didn't get hooked up or a drive installed or something. I don't know. Something out of my wheelhouse that I'm not really sure how to fix, but I still want to get a video out to you, hopefully a helpful video. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so are you ready for a total money makeover? The answer is no if you don't think you have a debt problem. If you are just here to make fun of me and others who are in debt, if you want to keeping up with the Joneses, if you are not willing to change your spending habits, or if you are not willing to budget your finances, because you will need to budget. Hint, hint. You are ready for a total money makeover if you can admit you have a lot of debt and need to change your habits. You want to change the course of your life. You are fed up with paying creditors instead of yourself, and you want to invest your earnings and work towards a financially independent life, meaning have your money work for you, not just have you work all the time. Okay? So if you answered yes, keep going on this presentation. If you answered no, you're not ready, then you might as well just shut down this video. Press stop and go leave some nasty comments in the comment section or something. I don't know. But for those of you who are really ready, let's keep going. So, a few things that you need to keep in mind for this total money makeover. You'll have to change. There's no question about it. You have to change your habits. You'll have to change the way you think about something. If you hear thumping above me, sorry about that. I live in a house full of people, and I'm literally in the basement, like sitting on a um, sitting on a treadmill with my computer just in front of me on this little tiny shelf that's here. So yeah, it's pretty low budget down here, but if you hear thumping around, it's because there was literally people thumping around above me. I'm in a basement. But anyways, I digress. Let's keep going here. So you need to change your mindset. You need to stop keeping up with the Joneses, okay? Like you have to stop caring about what your neighbors are doing, where they're vacationing, how much money they spend, what kind of cars they have, what kind of latest phone they have, and all that. You can't care anymore, okay? That's out of the question. You just be happy with what late generation phone you have or whatever, okay? You need to get used to saying no to going out, like for supper, for birthday parties, anything that is not planned or in your budget. Now, that's not to say you'll never have fun getting out of debt, because you can budget for fun, okay? It's just not going to be immediate. You can't just say, okay, let's go on a trip next week, right? No, it'll be, I want to go on a trip in 6 months, so let's start saving for it now, okay? That's more like what your conversations will sound like. Maybe with yourself, maybe with a significant other, whatever, but you will just have to plan your fun, okay? Your new goal is to get out of debt, not to buy things and exceed your budget so you have nothing left to put towards your credit card payments. The purpose of this total money makeover is to put every single extra penny you have towards your debt payment, not to buy things that are on sale that week. You have a plan, and it's to get out of debt, and that's what you have to stick with. Okay, so that leads me to the budget. You have to have one. There is no getting around having a budget. You have to have one. There is no getting out of debt without a budget. You need to know how much money is coming in and how much is going out. You need to know where your money is going, okay? If you don't know, then you'll always overspend, because you'll think, oh, I have lots of money, even though you have no idea. When you actually get an idea of what you make versus what goes out every month, then it seriously changes things. Okay, and a budget, yes, it's a pain in the butt, okay? There's no getting around it. You have to keep on top of it. Like, I look at my budget at least once a week. Like, usually my husband gets paid every week, so I'm budgeting every single week. That's what we're doing, and so far we've managed to pay off. We've managed to pay off more on our credit card than we have in months, and we actually went skiing, which is not a cheap pastime. We went skiing this past weekend, and we saved money for it, and we had enough money to go skiing. So, yeah, we made the choice to put that money towards skiing rather than our debt, but our debt was still getting paid off very well. So, you can't not have any fun, okay? Because we're a family of 5, and things do cost money. It adds up the more people you have. So, if you just don't do anything ever, you will probably end up spending more money. So, just save for it. Okay, that's my advice. A budget helps you save money because you know where your money is going every week and month. Like, it's a monthly budget, but like I said, I do it every week. I fill in all what's come in, what's come out, and figure out how much I can put down on the credit card that week, how much extra on top of the minimum payment. And you can get an online budget at everydollar.com. It's free. It's through Dave Ramsey's website. I like it. I took a little bit of getting used to as far as budget goes, but I'll have a video on that, a separate video on the every dollar budget sheet, because that is what I currently use. But I also use just a good old-fashioned calendar on my wall, and so I can keep track of things that are coming out of the bank automatically, like car payment and like life insurance and regular insurance, things like that, so I know how much is coming out every week. Yeah, but I'll show you my budgeting system in another video. Okay, so now that you have your budget in place, now you have to use cash. Okay, now you know how much money is coming in, how much is going out, and how much you need each week in cash to survive. That means cash for groceries, kid stuff, like car maintenance, gas, and Tim Hortons. I have Tim Hortons up there as kind of a joke, but in my case, it's actually real right now. My husband works 3 hours away each way, driving with traffic. It's about 3 hours, and he does take a coffee to go from home, but he does stop at Tim Hortons probably once or twice a day. And I can't really say, no, you can't stop at Tim Hortons, because he works 3 hours away. He's the sole provider. It's like just something to help keep him going. So we budgeted for Tim Hortons. Okay, so that's the bottom line. You just have to do things like that. It's not just a one-way street, especially if you have a spouse, a family. You need to keep them in mind too, while still paying down your debt hard. So, it is a balancing act for sure. And the first month doing the budget will not be perfect, nor will the second month or third month. You always kind of have to adjust it so it fits your needs. And honestly, my budget right now isn't perfect. It still gets modified here and there. So hopefully someday I'll have a budget that I can just stick to. But with an irregular income, which is what my husband makes, he doesn't make the same thing every single week. It's hard to have a fixed budget. You pretty much can't. You just have to always be on top of it. Anyways, this section is about using cash. So using cash, I use the envelope system, which is what Dave recommends in his book, Total Money Makeover, to take out. I have envelopes for like groceries, like dog food, the vets. I just estimate how much like my dog eats. I know how much each. I know how much a bag of dog food is, and I know he goes through one a month, so I can easily plan for that. His vet bill, I'm not sure how much it's going to be. I just estimated it, so I save weekly for his yearly vet bill. I save for kids' activities. I have an envelope for gas and car maintenance, and I have a Tim Hortons envelope. So basically, things that you can get out. You can get your cash out each week and put that money aside in envelopes, and that's what you use for the week. Or if it's a saving envelope, that's what you use to save up your money until you use it for whatever you're saving it for. Like, sorry, excuse me. we had almost $300 saved up for our skiing envelope, and we used it all on the weekend. So yeah, skiing is not cheap, but we saved for it. I didn't have to use our debit card. We just used that money. That's what it was for. So winter's almost over. Soon we won't have that expense. And we don't have to have it at a knowing expense, but um, that money can go towards something else in the winter or in the summer if we want to do something else, or go onto the credit card, which I think will be a mix. I think we're going to save for something else and also put maybe half back on the credit card and half saving for summer fun. Summer's not that cheap either when your kids are out of school for 2 months, right? So, also with using cash, I find you can get discounts. I mentioned earlier I got my screen replaced on my computer, and it was just a little mom and pop shop that I went to get my computer fixed. But he said, it would be $73. So then I pulled out my cash. He's like, "Oh, you're paying for cash? That'll be $65." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome, thank you." So he gave me a break because when businesses use debit credit machines, it costs them money. So he was passing on passing it on to me, passing on that extra savings that he got by not by just using cash. So that was awesome. And also my kids do axe throwing, and when we paid for their membership that came due last month, he didn't charge us taxes because we paid with cash. So you can get little discounts here and there when you pay for cash, when you pay with cash. Plus, it feels awesome paying with cash. It's so much more powerful throwing down a bill than it is just bringing out your card and sticking the chip in. It's awesome to actually throw down money and, I don't know, get change. I just really like it. I love using cash. So get used to using cash. Yeah, embrace the envelopes. I mentioned that I use envelopes to keep track of the cash you take out every week or month, or however often you are hitting the bank machine. I do it weekly. Like I said, I do weekly cash. Yeah, I take $400 out each week for expenses like the ones I just mentioned: kids, car, dog, maintenance, things like that. Yeah, and this also helps save for upcoming expenses as well as the ones that occur regularly. Like me and my husband were just talking about going, like we're looking to move, hopefully sooner than later, but to look at property somewhere that's a few hours away. So maybe get an Airbnb in a few months' time. So okay, that's good to know. So now we'll save for an Airbnb for that. I can save weekly. I mean, saving $20 a week or $10 a week is a lot easier than just putting out like $200 right off the get-go, like right off the bat, right? Or like having to come up with $200. Saving weekly is just more attainable, especially for us in our irregular income schedule. So, yeah, that's that. Get used to envelopes, okay? Plus, envelopes are handy. You can just fit them in your drawer. That's what I do. All right. So after you make out a budget, start using cash. You know what your expenses are and your income. You get on track to save for $1,000 for an emergency fund. And you want this $1,000 because the purpose of the budget is to pay as much as you can on your credit card, right? So you're not going to have a ton of money left in your savings account or whatever checking account, whatever account you're using, every week or every month, because the point is to put every single dime you have towards your debt, your credit card, whatever debt you want to pay off, which like leave a couple hundred in your bank account, obviously, or like he recommends 50 to 100. I get a little bit too. I leave $100 to $200 in my bank account per week, just I don't know, for ease of mind, because some things might come up and you might not have your cash on you. You forgot to grab it from your envelope, and then you're kind of stuck, right? So I leave about $200, like $100 to $200 in our bank account every week. But your emergency fund should be easily accessible. Like an emergency fund, I keep mine in a TFSA, which is a tax-free savings account, which I can access really easily off of online banking. I can easily transfer it into my checking account in case I need it. An emergency fund is for things like car troubles that might arise, like say your alternator broke on your car and you use it to get back and forth to work every day. Yeah, that counts as an emergency. You need to get to work, right? Also, like an unexpected layoff. You can use your emergency fund if you need to for that, right? If you have expenses and you have no money coming in. What an emergency fund is not for is for like Christmas presents. Okay, come on, guys. Christmas presents, you plan for that. Okay, get an envelope, mark it Christmas, and start saving as soon as you can. As soon as you know what you're getting your kids, or if you know you spend a lot of money at Christmas, start saving right after Christmas. Excuse me, sorry, my throat's dry. I'm coughing a little bit. It's also not for that sweater that is on sale that week, okay? That is not what your emergency fund is for. Emergency fund is for emergencies, not something that you'd like to have. Now, if you use your money from your emergency fund, stop paying down your debt, like except for the minimum payments, and rebuild your emergency fund back up to $1,000 first, and then you go ahead and resume your debt repayment, okay? Because you always want to have $1,000 in your emergency fund at this stage of the game, okay? So that's important. If you spend $200 from your emergency fund, you put $200 right back in it as soon as you can, okay? All right, so let's just recap what we've learned today. This is just the getting started, remember. It's just the beginnings. Number one, decide if you're truly ready for a total money makeover. Number two, change your mindset. Get away from the gotta have mindset and just like it's good enough. What you have now is good enough, okay? Get into the good enough mindset. Create a budget. You have to create a budget, guys. Seriously, just go to everydollar.com, create a budget. Use your cash for purchases. Plan your purchases. Use cash. Cash is king. Cash is awesome. Use your envelopes to keep track of cash. Yes, it keeps things organized, and you know how much is in it because you can count it every time you add money or take money out, right? And start saving for your emergency fund. $1,000 in your emergency fund, okay? That's what you need to have to get started. And up next, this next installment will be the debt snowball. And that step is actually what I'm on right now, which is not very far. It's only step 2, I think, because the first real step is save not real step, but the first actionable step really is to save $1,000 for your emergency fund. And then you go to the debt snowball. And that's what we're on right now, and we'll be on probably for a couple years. So yeah, debt snowball. All right, so what did you think about this style of video? Keep in mind, next time, hopefully I'll have my dumb picture or face on the screen somewhere. I'll get a hold of my son's laptop and use it instead. I know his camera works. So please leave any comments and questions down below. I'd love to hear them. I'll answer them the best I can. I highly recommend Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. If you don't have it, you might want to get it, or at least get it from the library. It's really good. Like, it's nothing new. It's not new information. It's just actual information that will work if you actually do it. Okay? So stay positive, work hard, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day.